Of course. Here is the full story translated into English, with the names changed to their English equivalents. The oligarch came home earlier than usual and couldn't believe his eyes. Oliver Lebadev was used to returning to his mansion in Rubliovka always after 10 p.m., when everyone was already asleep. That day, however, a meeting with partners on an oil project in Sochi ended sooner than he expected, and he decided to fly straight home on his private jet without notifying anyone. Opening the massive oak door of his $20 million home, Oliver stopped on the threshold and couldn't comprehend what he was seeing. There, in the middle of the huge living room with marble floors, knelt the 30-year-old housekeeper, Anna, holding a rag and wiping the wet floor. But what paralyzed him wasn't that, but what was happening next to her. His son, Max, who was only 5 years old, was standing in his small orthopedic braces, holding a kitchen towel and trying to help the woman wash the floor. The boy was born with cerebral palsy, and the doctors said he would never be able to walk on his own. "Auntie Anna, I can wipe over here," the fair-haired boy said, straining to stretch out his little hand. "Easy, Max. You've already helped me so much today. How about you sit on the sofa while I finish?" Anna replied in a soft voice, one Oliver had never heard from her before. "But I want to help." "You always say we're a team," the boy insisted, trying to keep his balance on the braces. Oliver froze, watching the scene, remaining unnoticed. There was something in this interaction that touched him so deeply he couldn't explain it. Max was smiling. Something the businessman rarely saw at home. "Okay, my little helper, but just a little bit more." "All right," said Anna, accepting the child's help. And at that moment, Max noticed his father standing by the door. His little face lit up, but his blue eyes held a mix of surprise and timidity. "Dad, you're home early," the boy exclaimed, trying to turn quickly and almost losing his balance. Anna jumped up, frightened, dropping the rag on the floor. She quickly wiped her hands on her apron and lowered her head. "Good evening, Mr. Lebadev. I didn't know you were." "I'm sorry, I was just finishing the cleaning," she mumbled, clearly nervous. Oliver was still processing what he had seen. He looked at his son, who was still holding the towel, then at Anna, who looked like she wanted the ground to swallow her up. In 15 years of successful business in the oil industry, he was used to controlling every situation, but now he felt completely lost. "Max, what are you doing?" Oliver asked, trying to speak calmly. "I'm helping Auntie Anna." "Dad, look." Max took a few shaky steps toward his father, proud of himself. "Today I was able to stand by myself for almost 7 minutes." Oliver looked at Anna for an explanation. She still kept her head down, nervously wringing her hands. 7 minutes, Oliver repeated, stunned. How? His son, who a year ago could barely sit without support, was now standing and even trying to help around the house. "Auntie Anna teaches me exercises every day. She says if I train a lot, one day I'll be able to walk like other kids," Max explained enthusiastically. A heavy silence hung in the air. Oliver felt a mix of emotions he couldn't decipher. Anger, gratitude, confusion. He looked at Anna again. "Exercises?" he asked sternly. Anna finally raised her head. Her brown eyes were full of fear. "Mr. Lebadev, I was just playing with Max, I didn't mean any harm. If you want, I can." "No, Auntie Anna," Max interrupted, quickly moving to stand between them. "Dad, Auntie Anna is the best. She doesn't leave me when it hurts. She says I'm strong, like a hero." Oliver felt something tighten in his chest. When was the last time he saw his son so enthusiastic? When was the last time he talked to him for more than 5 minutes? "Max, go to your room," he said quietly. "I need to talk to Anna." "But Dad." The boy looked at Anna, and she gave him an encouraging smile, gesturing that it was okay. Max, limping on his braces, left, but before disappearing up the stairs, he shouted, "Auntie Anna is the best in the world." Oliver and Anna were left alone in the room. The businessman moved closer, noticing for the first time the damp patches on the knees of her blue jeans and how her hands were red from endless floor washing. He owned oil wells in Siberia, but he never noticed such small details. How long has this been going on? He asked. Mr. Lebadev, the exercises. How long have you been doing exercises with Max? Anna hesitated before answering. Since I started working here, sir, about 8 months now. But I swear, I never neglected my duties. I do the exercises with him during my lunch break or after I finish everything else. You don't get extra pay for this, Oliver noted. No, sir, and I'm not asking for anything. I enjoy working with Max. He's a special child. Special? Oliver repeated. In what way? Anna seemed surprised by the question. What do you mean, sir? You said he was special. In what way? Oliver pressed. For the first time since his arrival, Anna smiled. He's determined, sir. Even when the exercises are hard and he feels like crying, he doesn't give up. And he has a huge heart. He's always worried about me. Am I tired? Am I sad? He's a very affectionate child. Oliver felt that tightness in his chest again. When was the last time he stopped to notice such qualities in his own son? His days were spent between the office, meetings with government officials, and trips to oil fields. And the exercises, how do you know what to do? Oliver continued. Anna lowered her head again. I have experience, sir. What experience? There was a long pause. Anna seemed to be wrestling with herself, deciding what to say. My younger brother, Alyosha, was born with leg problems. I spent my whole childhood with him in physical therapy, learning exercises, helping him walk. When I saw Max, I couldn't just stand by and watch him be sad. Sad, Oliver repeated. Mr. Lebadev, with all due respect, Max is very lonely. Irina Petrovna is always busy with her friends, and you, well, you work a lot. Oliver felt a pang of guilt. His wife Irina did indeed spend most of her time in social salons and expensive boutiques. So I thought that maybe I could help, Anna finished. But if you don't want me to do it, I'll stop immediately. I just wanted. What did you want, Anna? She looked up, and for the first time, Oliver saw determination in her eyes. I wanted him to smile more often. Sir, a child should smile every day. Oliver was silent for a moment. He tried to remember the last time he had seen Max's smile in recent weeks. He couldn't recall a single instance. His empire was worth billions of rubles, but he couldn't remember his own son's smile. Where is Irina? He asked. The madam went to a charity evening, she said she'd be back late. I stayed with Max. He had dinner, took a bath. We did the exercises, and I was finishing cleaning because he spilled juice in the living room. He wanted to help me clean up. Oliver looked around, noticing for the first time how immaculate everything was. The furniture shone, there wasn't a speck of dust, even the expensive paintings on the walls looked like they were in a museum. Anna took care of his house better than he did. Anna, can I ask you a personal question? Of course, sir. Why do you work as a housekeeper? You clearly have knowledge of physical therapy. You're good with children. You're dedicated. Why don't you work in healthcare? Anna smiled sadly. Because I don't have a diploma, sir. Everything I learned was from taking care of my brother. But that officially means nothing. And I need to work to support my family. Your family? My mom and my brother Alyosha. He's 18 now. He studies at a technical college in the mornings and works at a car repair shop in the afternoons. Mom cleans offices at night. We manage as best we can. Oliver felt a strange mix of admiration and shame. Before him stood a young woman of 30 who worked hard to support her family, and yet found the time and energy to care for his son with a love and dedication he himself didn't show. And you never thought about studying, taking a physical therapy course? He asked. Anna laughed, but there was no joy in her laughter. With what money, sir? With what time? I leave home at 6 a.m., take 3 buses to be here by 7:30. I work until 7 p.m. Take 3 buses again, get home by 9 o'clock, help my brother with his homework, cook dinner. And when I go to bed, it's almost midnight. On weekends I clean other houses to earn a little extra money. Oliver was silent, digesting this information. He had no idea about his employee's life outside the 11 hours she spent in his house. Anna, can I see the exercises you do with Max? Now, sir, if possible. Anna hesitated. He's already in his pajamas, sir. We usually do the exercises in the morning before his homeschooling. I come in at 7:30, make Max breakfast, and while you're still sleeping, we have a session in the gym. Then he showers, has breakfast, and is ready for his lessons with the tutor. Oliver realized he knew nothing about his own son's routine. He left home at 7 a.m. and always returned after 10 p.m. On weekends, he was usually in his study or at business meetings. And he likes these exercises? He loves them, sir. At first it was hard because it hurt, but now he asks to do them himself. Yesterday he was able to stand without his braces for almost 5 minutes straight. 5 minutes. Oliver's eyes widened. But the physical therapist said that was months away. Anna blushed. Maybe Max is more motivated now. Motivated? Why? He wants to make an impression. She hesitated. On you too. On me? He talks about you all the time, Mr. Lebadev. He says that when he can walk properly, he'll work with you when he grows up. He says he wants to be like his father. Oliver's eyes moistened. He couldn't have imagined Max thought of him that way. At that moment, they heard footsteps on the stairs. Max was slowly coming down with his braces. Dad, are you still here? He said with relief. Max, you should be sleeping, Oliver replied, but without reproach. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking. You're not going to fire Auntie Anna, are you? The question caught Oliver off guard. Why do you think I'd fire her? Because you were serious when you sent me upstairs, and Mom always gets angry when the housekeepers do something she didn't tell them to. Oliver looked at Anna, who had lowered her head again. His son was afraid of losing the only person who truly cared for him. Max, come here, he said, kneeling down to be at his son's level. The boy approached, leaning on his braces. Do you like Anna? Very much. She's my best friend. Why is she your best friend? Max thought for a moment. Because she plays with me, listens to me when I talk, and never rushes me if I take a long time to do something. And she believes I can walk like other kids. Am I your friend too? Oliver asked, feeling his heart constrict. Max hesitated, and Oliver saw a sadness on his son's face that cut through him like a knife. You're my dad, not my friend, Max said quietly. Dad is important, but friends are the ones who stay with us. Oliver felt as if he'd been punched in the stomach. He looked at Anna, who was also clearly moved. In all his years of building a business empire, he had never felt such pain. Max, I would really like to be your friend too. Will you teach me how? Max's eyes lit up. Really, Dad? Absolutely serious. Then you have to play with me, listen to my stories, and come watch my exercises with Auntie Anna. Oliver smiled, feeling an emotion he hadn't felt in years. Deal. Tomorrow morning I want to see these exercises. Really? Max jumped for joy, almost losing his balance. Auntie Anna, did you hear? Dad is coming to watch our exercises. Anna smiled, but Oliver noticed anxiety in her eyes. Mr. Lebadev, but you're usually not home in the mornings. I will be tomorrow, Oliver said firmly. In fact, I think I need to reconsider some priorities. Max hugged his father, still leaning on his braces. Dad, now I have two best friends. You and Auntie Anna. Oliver hugged his son, feeling a love so strong it almost choked him. How had he let this wonderful child slip away from his life? His oil rigs and billions of rubles suddenly seemed so insignificant. Now go to sleep, champ. Tomorrow will be a special day. When Max went upstairs, Oliver turned to Anna. Thank you, he said simply. For what, sir? For caring for my son when I didn't know how to myself. Anna smiled shyly. He's a special child, sir. Anyone would fall in love with him. But not everyone would dedicate their free time to him. Not everyone would have the patience and knowledge that you have. Mr. Lebadev, can I ask a question? Of course. Will you really be here tomorrow morning? Oliver thought about it. He had 4 meetings scheduled before 10 a.m. A video conference with partners from Norway at 8 o'clock. A company profit report that needed to be finished before lunch. Yes, he said, surprising even himself. I will be here. That night, Oliver went up to his room, thinking about the conversation. Irina still wasn't back. He took the moment to peek into Max's room. The boy was already asleep, but his braces were neatly leaning against the bedside table, ready for the next day. Oliver sat on the edge of the bed and watched his sleeping son. How had this child grown up so much? He hadn't noticed the moment Max became so brave and determined. He took his phone and cancelled his 4 morning meetings. Then he wrote an email explaining that the video conference needed to be rescheduled. For the first time in his career, Oliver put his family first. When Irina returned home around 1 a.m., Oliver was waiting for her in the living room. You're early today, she said, taking off her expensive shoes. Irina, we need to talk. About what? She sat down next to him on the sofa. About Max, about our family, about what's happening in this house. Irina sighed. Oliver, if this is about doctors for Max again, I've already told you. It's not about doctors, it's about Anna. What about her? Did you know that she does physical therapy exercises with Max every day? Irina looked away. I knew. And you didn't tell me? Why? Because you would start worrying about liability, risks, lawsuits, all the things you always worry about. She really helps our son. Irina, she's helping our son walk better. I know that, Oliver, Irina flared up. Do you think I'm blind? Do you think I don't see that Max is happier? Do you think I don't notice his progress? Then why didn't you tell me? Irina stood up and started pacing the room. Because you're never home, Oliver. Because when you are here, you want to know if Max took his medicine, went to physical therapy, did his schoolwork. You never ask if he laughed today, if he played, if he was happy. And Anna? Irina continued. Anna makes Max smile. She gives him faith that he can achieve anything. That's why I let her continue, because my son needs it. Why did you never tell me you felt this way? Irina stopped and looked at her husband. Oliver, when was the last time we talked about anything besides work or Max's doctors? Oliver tried to remember, but couldn't. I don't remember. Me neither. And you know why? Because you're not here. Physically you might be home, but mentally you're always at the office, at the oil rigs, on the phone, on the computer. I've been raising Max alone, Oliver. And now Anna is helping me do it. Oliver felt guilt wash over him. I didn't know you felt that way. Because you never asked. They sat in silence for a few minutes. Oliver digested everything that had happened that day. First the revelation about Anna and Max, now the revelation about his own negligence as a father and husband. Irina, I want to change that. Change what? Everything. I want to be present in Max's life, in your life. I want us to be a real family. Irina looked at him with disbelief. Oliver, you've said that before. Remember when Max was born, when he was diagnosed? You always say you'll change, but work always comes first. This time it's different. Why? Because today I saw my son for the first time, truly saw him. And I realized that if I don't do something now, I'll lose the most important years of his life. Irina sighed. Oliver, I want to believe you, but I need actions, not words. Then come tomorrow morning and see for yourself. I'm watching the exercises Anna does with Max. Did you cancel your meetings? Oliver nodded. Cancelled. Irina's eyes widened. In 18 years of marriage, she had never seen Oliver cancel meetings because of family. Maybe this time it really is different, she murmured. It will be, I promise. The next morning, Oliver woke up at 6:30. He showered, dressed in casual clothes, something he rarely wore on weekdays, and went down to the kitchen. Anna was already there, making breakfast. "Good morning, Anna," he said, surprising her. "Good morning, Mr. Lebadev. You're up early today?" "Yes." "And where's Max?" "Still asleep, sir. He usually wakes up at 8 a.m. "And when do you do the exercises?" "After breakfast, sir." Oliver looked at the clock. 7:45. "Can I help with anything?" Anna looked at him in surprise. "Sir, breakfast. Can I help cook?" "Ah, of course, sir. Max likes cottage cheese pancakes on Mondays." "Pancakes? I didn't know that." Anna smiled. "He says he needs extra energy to start the week with exercises." Oliver watched Anna prepare the pancake batter, noticing the care with which she did everything. She wasn't just cooking food, she was making something special for Max. "Anna, can I ask a question?" "Of course, sir." "Why do you care so much about Max?" Anna stopped stirring the batter and thought for a minute. "Mr. Lebadev, when I was a child, I saw my brother Alyosha rejected by other kids because of his difficulties. I saw the sadness in his eyes when he wanted to play but couldn't keep up with the others. When I look at Max, I see the same look Alyosha had when he was little." "And what did you do for your brother?" "I was his best friend. I invented games he could participate in. I encouraged him to try new things. I celebrated every little victory of his as if it were the greatest achievement in the world." "And did it help?" Anna smiled, and Oliver saw pride in her eyes. "It helped. Today, Alyosha is studying at a technical college, working, helping to support the family, and is one of the most determined people I know. He still has limitations, but he never lets them stop him from living." "And you want the same for Max?" "I want him to be happy, Mr. Lebadev. I want him to believe he can achieve anything. Because with the family he has, with the love and support you can give, he can go much further than my brother ever dreamed." Oliver felt that mix of admiration and shame again. Anna was right. Max had all the advantages in the world, but he was still sad and lonely because he lacked the most important thing, his parents' attention and love. At that moment, Max appeared in the kitchen, still in his pajamas and braces. "Dad," he shouted in surprise. "You didn't go to work." "Good morning, champ. Today I'm staying here to watch your exercises. Remember?" Max grinned from ear to ear. "Really? You'll see how strong I am." "Of course, but first let's have breakfast. Anna made you special pancakes." At breakfast, Oliver watched the interaction between Max and Anna. They talked like old friends, laughed at their own jokes, planned the day's exercises. Max glowed with happiness, talking non-stop about what he wanted to show his dad. "Dad, did you know I can already climb 5 steps without my braces?" "5 steps? That's incredible. And I can do stretches like adults." "What kind of stretches?" "Auntie Anna taught me. She says it's important to prepare the muscles before exercises." Oliver looked at Anna with admiration. She really knew what she was doing. At exactly 9 o'clock, they went to the gym. Irina had also come down and was watching from the doorway. Oliver noticed she was curious about how he would react to the exercises. "Okay, Max," said Anna, spreading a mat on the floor. "Let's start with stretching. Dad, sit nearby and watch." Oliver sat on the floor, something he hadn't done in years. Max lay on the mat and began doing stretches that surprised Oliver with their precision and seriousness. "Very good, Max. Now let's work on balance," Anna said. She helped Max up and placed the braces nearby. "Remember what we practiced? Try to stand without the braces for 45 seconds. If you can, we'll try for a minute tomorrow. Can I try for a minute right now? Don't rush. 45 seconds is already very good." Max let go of the braces and stood by himself. Oliver held his breath. The boy was trembling slightly, clearly straining to maintain his balance. But he was doing it. 20 seconds, Anna counted. "You're doing great, Dad. Do you see? I see, son, you're incredible. 35 seconds, Anna continued. Almost there. I did it. Max shouted. And at that moment, he lost his balance and started to fall. Anna quickly caught him, preventing the fall. I did it. I did it. 45 seconds. Max beamed. Oliver was moved to tears. He stood up and hugged his son. Max, that was fantastic. I'm so proud of you. Now you understand why I love doing exercises with Auntie Anna? I understand, perfectly. They continued the exercises for another 40 minutes. Anna guided Max through various activities, walking with braces, leg strengthening exercises, balance training. Oliver was amazed by her knowledge and endless patience. When they finished, Max was tired but happy. Auntie Anna, tomorrow I can try for a minute without braces. Of course, but now let's take a shower and get ready for your lessons with the tutor. Dad, will you be here tomorrow too? Oliver looked at Anna, then at his son. I will. In fact, I was thinking, what if I stay here every morning to watch your exercises? Max hugged his father so tightly he almost knocked him over. Really? Every day? Every day. That same afternoon, while Max was with his tutor, Oliver invited Anna into his study for a talk. Anna, I want to make you a proposal. What proposal, sir? I want you to become Max's official therapeutic assistant. Anna's eyes widened. Sir, but I don't have a diploma. You have knowledge of physical therapy. You have a special bond with my son, and he trusts you completely. I want to formalize that. But, sir, I really don't have official education. We can fix that. Would you like to study to become a physical therapist? Anna was silent for a long time. Mr. Lebadev, that would be a dream, but I don't have the means. What if I paid for your education? Would you agree? I would pay for the course, books, transport, and you would continue to receive your salary. In fact, I would increase it, since you'll have new responsibilities. Anna burst into tears. Mr. Lebadev, I don't know what to say. Max needs you, and you deserve a chance to study what you love. But what about the housework? The other duties? We'll hire another person for the household chores. Your only focus will be Max. Anna couldn't stop crying. Why are you doing this? Because last night I realized I almost missed the chance to know my own son. And this morning I saw that you give him what I couldn't, hope and confidence. I want you to continue doing that, but officially and with recognition. What if I can't pass the exams? You can. I'm sure of it. Anna wiped her tears and looked at Oliver with determination. Then I agree, Mr. Lebadev. I will study hard and try to do everything I can for Max. I know you will succeed. In the following days, life in the house changed completely. Oliver started leaving later to participate in Max's morning exercises. He cancelled numerous meetings to be present for important moments in his son's life. Max glowed with happiness around his father. His progress in the exercises began to accelerate thanks to the attention he received. Within a week, he could stand for a full minute without braces. Within 2 weeks he could take 8 consecutive steps without support. Irina watched these changes with joy mixed with caution. She was happy to see her husband more present, but she was still afraid it was temporary. One morning during exercises, Max did something no one expected. He let go of his braces and walked 12 steps to his father. Dad, I'm walking. I'm walking by myself. Max shouted, throwing himself into Oliver's arms. Oliver cried with emotion. You did it, champ. You really did it. Anna was also crying, proud of Max's progress. Auntie Anna, did you see? I walked. I saw, my warrior, you're incredible. Irina ran out of the house when she heard the shouts and arrived just in time to see Max take a few more steps without support. My God, Max! She burst into tears, hugging her son. That evening, after Max had fallen asleep, Oliver and Irina talked about the changes. Oliver, I have to confess something, Irina said. I was thinking about divorcing you. I felt so lonely, Oliver. It seemed like I was raising Max alone while you lived for oil and money. I couldn't do it anymore. And now I see a different person. I see the father I always wanted you to be, and the husband I married. But I need to know this is for good. Oliver took his wife's hand. Irina, I almost lost the two most important people in my life because of work. That won't happen again, I promise. But how can you be sure? Because I realized that nothing is worth seeing my son walk toward me with a smile. No oil, no money can compare to that. A few weeks later, Oliver made another discovery about Anna. He came home early and found her crying in the garden. Anna, what's wrong? Nothing, Mr. Lebadev, everything's fine. Obviously not. What happened? Anna hesitated before answering. This morning, one of Irina Petrovna's friends was here. She wasn't very kind to me. How so? She said I was taking advantage of your kindness, that I was trying to interfere where I wasn't invited. She said a maid should know her place. Oliver felt rage boiling inside him. Who was it? It doesn't matter, sir. Who was it? Svetlana Borisovna, a friend of Irina Petrovna. Oliver knew Svetlana, arrogant and prejudiced woman who always strove to emphasize her social superiority. What else did she say? That I was confusing everything, that Max isn't my son, and I should stop acting like I'm his mother. She said people like me should know their place better. Anna, you know that's not true. I know, sir, but it hurt to hear. And worst of all, Max was nearby and heard everything. He got very upset and stood up for me. It was awkward. Max defended you? He told Svetlana Borisovna that I was the best person in the world and that she had no right to be mean to me. He got so worked up. Oliver, despite his anger, smiled. He's right, and I'll deal with this situation. Mr. Lebadev, please, don't make a problem out of this. I don't want fights between Irina Petrovna and her friends. Anna, you're not creating problems. The problem is the rudeness of people who think they're better than others. That evening, Oliver spoke with Irina about the incident. Irina, was Svetlana here today? She was. Why? Oliver told her what happened. Irina was visibly angry. I didn't know that. If I had, would have thrown her out immediately. Max heard everything and was very upset. God, poor Max, he loves Anna so much. Irina, I don't want to see people like that in our home anymore. If your friends can't treat our staff with respect, they are not welcome here. Completely agree. Tomorrow I'll talk to Svetlana and make it clear that such behavior is unacceptable. The next day, something unexpected happened. Oliver was in the office when he received a call from an acquaintance, Viktor Sokolov, the owner of a competing company. Oliver, I heard you have an exceptional housekeeper. And why do you need to know that, Viktor? Svetlana told me she's very good with special needs children. As it happens, my grandson has autism, and we're looking for someone qualified to care for him. I'd like to make her an offer. Oliver felt a chill inside. What kind of offer? Double what you pay. More benefits. A company car. A full medical plan for her and her family. What do you say, Oliver? Anna is not for sale. Oliver, be reasonable. Everyone has a price. And as far as I know, she's just a housekeeper. For me, she would be an official therapeutic companion. She is already our official therapeutic companion. Svetlana didn't mention that. Well, anyway, my offer stands. Can you give me her number? No, Viktor. The answer is no. Anna is part of our family. If you change your mind, call me. Oliver hung up, worried. He knew Viktor wouldn't give up so easily, and he also understood that the offer was very tempting for someone in Anna's financial situation. He decided not to say anything about the call, but remained vigilant in the following days. His anxiety proved justified when 3 days later Anna asked to speak with him. Mr. Lebadev, I received a job offer. What offer? To work as a therapeutic companion for the Sokolov family. They offered much more than I earn here. Do you want to accept? Anna was silent for a long time. Mr. Lebadev, I don't know what to do. The money would change my family's life. My mom could stop working nights. My brother could focus entirely on his studies. But I can't imagine leaving Max. He's become very important to me, and you have all become very important to him too. I know. And that's what makes me doubt. I have responsibilities to my family, but I also feel responsible for Max. Oliver thought carefully before answering. Anna, I won't try to influence your decision, but can I ask a few questions? Of course. Are you happy working here? Very happy. Do you feel you have opportunities for growth with the physical therapy course I'm paying for? Yes. And how do you think Max will react if you leave? Anna sighed. He would be devastated. Yesterday he was talking about the plans we have for when he can run without braces. So what is your doubt about? The money, Mr. Lebadev. My family really needs it. Oliver nodded. I understand. How much did they offer? Anna named a sum, and Oliver was surprised. It was a significant figure. Anna, can I make a counteroffer? In what sense? I can match the salary they offered, plus keep the existing benefits. The physical therapy course, the medical plan, and add medical insurance for your mom and your brother too. Anna's eyes widened. Mr. Lebadev, you don't have to do that. I do. Max needs you, and you deserve to be valued for the exceptional work you do. But it's too much money. Anna, you saved my marriage and helped me reconnect with my son. What is that worth? Anna began to cry. Mr. Lebadev, I don't know what to say. Say you'll stay. I'll stay, of course I'll stay. That same afternoon, Max was playing in the garden when he saw Anna gathering her things. He ran up to her, worried. Auntie Anna, are you leaving? No, my dear, I'm staying here with you for a very, very long time. Max hugged Anna tightly. That's good, because I still have so much to learn from you. And when I can run, I'll run to you every day. And I'll be waiting for my warrior. A few weeks later, something no one expected happened. Max was doing his morning exercises when he managed to do something incredible. He ran. It wasn't many meters, but several consecutive steps at a speed greater than walking. Dad, Auntie Anna, I ran. Max shouted, beaming with joy. Oliver and Anna rushed to him, overwhelmed with emotion. Max, that was incredible, Oliver said, hugging his son. My warrior has become an athlete, Anna said, hugging him too. Now I can play with other kids on equal terms. Of course you can, my dear. You can do anything you want. That evening, Oliver reflected on everything that had happened in recent months. He had almost lost his family because of work. But a devoted housekeeper had saved not only his son, but the entire family dynamic. A few months later, it was the day of Max's kindergarten graduation. It was a special event where children showed their skills and talents. Oliver canceled all his plans to be there. Dad, are you sure you can come? Max asked on the morning of the graduation. Absolutely sure, champ. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Will Auntie Anna be there too? Of course, we're your official cheer squad at kindergarten. Max was nervous. He had prepared a special performance where he wanted to show how he had overcome his movement difficulties. Auntie Anna, what if I fall in front of everyone? He asked. Max, you've fallen many times during our training and always gotten up. If you fall today, you'll get up too. But I'm sure you won't fall. Why are you so sure? Because you're the most determined boy I know, and because you trained very hard for this moment. When it was Max's turn to perform, he walked to the center of the stage without his braces. The audience froze, understanding this was something special. My name is Max Lebadev, he began in a firm voice. When I was little, I couldn't walk properly. I needed braces, and I was afraid to try new things. Oliver and Irina sat in the audience, overwhelmed with emotion. Anna was next to them, no less excited. But then I met a very special person, Max continued. Auntie Anna taught me that if you train and don't give up, you can achieve anything. She taught me to be strong, brave, and to believe in myself. Then Max did something that amazed everyone. He ran from one end of the stage to the other without stumbling, without hesitation, with perfect balance. I want to dedicate this run to 3 people, Max said, out of breath but smiling. To my dad, who learned to be my best friend, to my mom, who always took care of me, and to Auntie Anna, who showed me I can fly if I want to. The hall erupted in applause. Oliver cried openly, as did Irina and Anna. And now, Max continued. I want to show you something I learned. Auntie Anna, come here. Anna was surprised, but Max called her onto the stage. This is Anna, Max told the audience. She's the most important person in my life after my parents. She believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. And I want to tell everyone that she's the best teacher in the world. Max hugged Anna on stage, and the audience gave a standing ovation. Oliver and Irina also came on stage to hug Max and Anna. Dad, Max said, still on stage. Can you tell everyone one thing? What, son? That Auntie Anna isn't our maid anymore. She's our family. Oliver took the microphone. My son is right, he said in an emotional voice. Anna isn't just our employee, she's part of our family. She saved my son, saved my marriage, and taught me what's truly important in life. The hall erupted in applause again, and Anna cried with emotion. After the performance, many people from the kindergarten came up to Oliver and Irina to congratulate Max and meet Anna. Many parents of children with special needs wanted to know about the methods she used. You should think about opening a therapy center, one mother suggested. There are many children who could benefit from Anna's work. Oliver looked at Anna, who was animatedly talking to other mothers about exercises and motivation techniques. You know, Irina, he said to his wife, maybe that's not a bad idea. What do you mean? A therapy center specializing in children, with Anna as the coordinator after she gets her diploma. You would invest in that? Yes. And you know why? Because I've seen with my own eyes how her work can change a child's life and a whole family's. That evening at home, Oliver invited Anna for a talk. Anna, can I ask a crazy question? Of course, Mr. Lebadev. Would you ever like to have your own therapy center? Anna laughed. Mr. Lebadev, that's too big a dream for someone like me. Why do you say that? Because opening a therapy center requires a lot of money, knowledge, experience, and I'm still studying. What if I said I was willing to invest in that dream? Anna stopped smiling. How so? I'm thinking about opening a therapy center for children with special needs. A place where every child would get the same attention and care you gave Max. And I would like you to be the therapeutic director. Are you serious? Absolutely serious. Of course, you'll need to finish university, maybe do some specializations, but the project can be developed gradually. And? Max? Max will remain your priority. In fact, he could become a kind of ambassador for the center, showing other children that difficulties can be overcome. Anna was silent for a long time. Mr. Lebadev, if this really happens, it would be the biggest dream of my life come true. Then we'll make it happen. 2 years later, the Hope Children's Therapy Center opened its doors. It was a modern, bright place with state-of-the-art equipment and a team of dedicated specialists. Anna, now a certified physical therapist with a specialization in pediatrics, was the therapeutic director. Max, who was now 7 years old and ran completely normally, attended the opening as a guest of honor. He became the symbol of the center, inspiring other children with his story of overcoming. Auntie Anna, Max said, running up to Anna on opening day. You did it. You have your own place to help children now. I did, my warrior. And do you know who inspired me to never give up? Who? A brave boy who taught me that when we believe and work hard, dreams become reality. Oliver watched the scene with pride. His company now had a new focus. Besides the oil business, he had created a social responsibility fund that supported projects like the therapy center. Oliver, Irina said, approaching him, do you regret anything? I regret that it took me so long to understand what's truly important, but I regret nothing about what we did after I learned the lesson. And what lesson is that? That sometimes the most important people in our lives come unexpectedly, and that love and devotion are worth more than any oil. Max ran up to his parents, beaming with joy. Dad, Mom, did you see how many kids came today? Auntie Anna said she'll help all of them become as strong as me. We saw, son. And do you know the best part about this? What? That it all started because one special person decided to believe in you when you needed it most. Max smiled and looked at Anna, who was talking to other children's parents. Dad, can I tell you a secret? Of course. I always knew Auntie Anna was special. From the very first day, I felt she would change our lives. And how did you know that? Because she looked at me like I was normal, not broken. She looked at me like I could achieve anything. Oliver smiled, realizing that his son, despite his young age, had understood what he, an adult, had only realized after a long time, that a person's true value lies not in what they have, but in what they are able to give to others. A few months after the center opened, Oliver received an unexpected call. It was Viktor Sokolov, the businessman who had once tried to poach Anna. Oliver, I need to talk to you. About what, Viktor? About the therapy center you opened. My grandson has been attending for 4 months now. And how is it going? That's why I'm calling. It's incredible, Oliver. In 4 months, my grandson has made more progress than in 3 years of traditional therapy. Oliver smiled. Anna is truly exceptional. More than that, her whole team is special. They don't treat the children as patients, but as unique and special people. My grandson is happy for the first time since his diagnosis. Glad to hear that, Viktor. Oliver, I have to apologize to you. For what? For trying to take Anna from you a few years ago. At the time, I only saw her as a qualified employee. I didn't understand she was part of your family, that there was a much deeper connection between you. I understand. And now I see she was in the right place with the right people. If I had succeeded in taking her then, she might never have had the opportunity to develop as she has with you. Anyway, I wanted to thank you for not letting me make that mistake, and to congratulate you for seeing her potential before any of us. After hanging up, Oliver pondered the conversation. It was curious how everything had turned out. If he had let Anna leave then, many lives would have gone differently. Max might not have developed as he did. His marriage to Irina might not have been saved. And the hundreds of children now attending the center wouldn't have the opportunity to grow with the same attention and care. That evening, when Max returned from school, Oliver was waiting for him in the garden, in the very spot where it had all started years ago. Dad, you're early today? Yes. I wanted to talk to you about something. About what? About that day I came home and saw you helping Anna wash the floor. Max smiled. I remember that day. You were surprised because you'd never seen me do exercises before. Right. And do you know what I thought then? What? That you were the bravest child I had ever seen. There you were, with all your difficulties, and yet you were trying to help the person who cared for you. But it was normal to help Auntie Anna. She always helped me. Exactly. And that's what made me realize who you really are. You weren't just a child with limitations, you were a generous, determined, and loving child. And now I know that day forever changed our family, because that's when I learned to see you for real and learned to value people like Anna. Max thought for a moment. Dad, can I tell you something? Of course. That day changed my life too. How so? Because it was the first day you looked at me like I was special in a good way, not in a sad way. Oliver's eyes moistened. Max, you were always special in a good way. I just realized it too late. The important thing is that you know now. They fell silent for a while, watching the garden where Max had taken his first steps without braces, where Anna had spent countless hours teaching and supporting, where the family had found itself again. Dad, Max said, breaking the silence. Do you think every family has their own Anna? What do you mean? A person who comes and changes everything for the better, who helps us become better. Oliver thought about the question. I think not every family is lucky enough to meet their Anna, Max. But I think every family has the opportunity to be an Anna for someone else. How's that? We can be for others what Anna was for us. We can believe in others when they don't believe in themselves. We can help others discover what they're capable of. Max smiled. That's exactly what we're doing at Auntie Anna's Center. Exactly. We're helping other families discover what we discovered, that love and devotion can overcome any obstacle. At that moment, Anna returned from work, as she did every day. Max ran to her, as always. Auntie Anna, how was your day at the center? It was wonderful, my warrior. Today a boy was able to take his first steps, just like you did a few years ago. Really? Was he happy? He was beaming with joy. And you know what he said? That he wants to be as strong as Max Lebadev. Max blushed with pride. He really said that? Yes. You've become an inspiration for many children. Did you know that? Oliver watched the interaction between Max and Anna, noticing that even after all these years, they maintained the same special bond they had from the first day. Anna, Oliver said. Can I ask a question? Of course, Mr. Lebadev. Do you regret anything? Your decision to stay here when you had other opportunities? Anna looked at Max, then at Oliver, and smiled. Mr. Lebadev, if I had left, then I would have lost the chance to see this boy turn into the amazing young man he is today, I would have lost the chance to see a family find each other again, and I would have lost the chance to fulfill a dream I didn't even know I had. What dream? The dream of changing the lives of hundreds of children, not just one. The dream of having a career I love, not just a job. The dream of being part of a family that values me for who I am, not just for what I do. Max hugged Anna. Auntie Anna, you know what the best part of all this is? What, my dear? That our story isn't over, it's only just beginning. How so? Because now you'll help many children just like you helped me, and I'll be there to help too, to show them that anything is possible. Anna looked at Oliver and Irina, who had joined them in the garden. You know, she said. When I was a child, my mom always said that God sends us the right people at the right time. Back then, I didn't really understand what that meant. And now you do? Irina asked. Now I understand that each of us ended up exactly where we were supposed to be, exactly when we were supposed to be there. Max needed someone to believe in him. You needed to reconnect as a family, and I needed to find my purpose in life. And you found it? Max asked. I found it, my warrior. My purpose is to help children and families discover their own strength. And it all started here, in this garden, with one brave boy who taught me that the greatest miracles happen when we don't give up. Oliver looked around, seeing his family gathered in the garden where it all began. Max, now a healthy and confident boy. Irina, his wife, who had learned to trust their love again. And Anna, who had ceased to be just a housekeeper and had become a daughter in their hearts. You know what I've learned from all this? Oliver said. What, Dad? That sometimes we think we're giving someone an opportunity, but in reality, it's that person who gives us the biggest opportunity in our lives. An opportunity for what? Max asked. An opportunity to become better, to love more, to change the world. Anna smiled. Her eyes shone with tears of happiness. Mr. Lebadev, the only thing I wanted when I started working here was to support my family. I never imagined I would get so much more. And what did you get? I got a second family, I got a purpose, I got a chance to see that it's possible to change lives when we act with love. Max looked at the three adults around him and smiled. You know what? I think we should do this every day. Do what? Irina asked. Gather here, in the garden, and remember how lucky we are. Because there are many people in the world who don't have what we have. And what do we have? Oliver asked, curious what his son would say. We have love, we have a family that cares, and we have Auntie Anna, who is the most special in the world. Oliver hugged his son, feeling immense gratitude for everything that had happened. If someone had told him a few years ago that a housekeeper would completely change his life, he would have laughed. But now he understood that angels don't always come with wings. Sometimes they come with an apron and a heart full of love. "Max," Oliver said, "you're right. Let's do this every day. Let's always remember how lucky we are." "And let's always remember," Anna added, "that every new day is an opportunity to be a change in someone's life, just like you were in mine." As the sun set over the Lebadev family garden, the four people whom fate had brought together in the most unexpected way embraced, knowing that their lives were forever changed by one, seemingly chance, encounter between a workaholic oligarch, a determined housekeeper, and a child who only needed someone to believe in him. And so, what began with a simple early return home turned into the most beautiful lesson about family, love, and the transformative power of being able to see the best in people, even when they can't see it in themselves yet.